4 squared is 16 minus 16. We get 0 over 0. But when we plugged in 0, we get 0 over 0. But we're saying the limit's going to be 8. Here's what we got to do. Earlier, or those previous problems, we factored. This one, there's nothing to factor because it's not in a factorable form. But could we distribute instead? Let's go distribute. What is 4 plus x times 4 plus x? I'll write it out for you because I love you. 4 plus x times 4 plus x. What's that going to get me? Distribute that. Psh, 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 psh. It's going to get me 4 squared? 16, thanks. Plus how many x's? Nice. 4x plus 4x is going to get me 8x. Plus how many x squareds? 1x squared. Minus a 16 all over an x. All I've done here is I'm going to keep that limit notation. I'm going to bring it down. I know it's annoying. But all I've done is I've distributed this right here. Boop. That's all I've done. Does anything cancel out now? 16 minus 16 is 0. So now I'm left with the limit as x approaches 0 of 8x plus x squared all over x. If you plug in that 0 now, what would I still get? 0 over 0, but we know the answer should be 8. Do we have anything in common that we can cancel out? Every term has a x. So here's why we can cancel out. I'm going to let you skip this step. But couldn't I technically factor out an x from the top? You can skip this step. Couldn't I factor out an x and then these x's are what cancel, okay? But if you're like, dude, every term has an x, I can do this and this and this. That's the same thing. If every term has it, you can cancel it out. It's doing the same thing as right here. What are we left with no matter which route you go? 8 plus x. So you guys were left with the limit as x approaches 0 of 8 plus x. Now if I plug in that 0 again, what's 8 plus 0? And you told me that limit was going to be 8. Okay, on this next one, if you plug in a 3, we're going to get 9 plus 12. That's 21 minus 21 over 0. We're going to get 0 over 0 again. But here we go. Let's make a prediction. Kale, would you mind doing me a fave? Read me this. Let's do it. Is there anything to distribute? How do we do this one? Factor it out, right? What's the top tooting? What's the top tooting to? What multiplies to be negative 21 adds to be 4? 7 and 3, and the 3 has to be negative, right? Love it. X plus 7, x minus 3, he says. What does 9 minus x squared factor into? We're used to seeing it as x squared minus 9, but be careful, the order does matter. So what's it going to factor to? Difference of squares still. What has to go first? The 3. And then what would go last? Yeah, 3 plus x and 3 minus x. Can these cancel? No, because this one has a positive x, that's a negative x. That's a negative 3, that's a positive 3. But could I do something to this to make it match that? How could I rewrite this? Let me just give you an example. How did I write this out? Hold on. Okay, if I were to say that I have 2 minus, let's make this different, 5. Do you agree that that's negative 3? Okay, 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Is that the same as 5 minus 2? No, but is it the same if I do that? 5 minus 2 is 3, and I could then make it negative. So now are these equivalent? Aren't those equivalent if I do that? Right? So what could I do to this guy to make it equivalent to that, but still not change? Like, how could I make these equivalent? Yeah. So if I were to change this sucker, because I want it to cancel out with that, I could say, I'm going to leave my x plus 7. I'm going to leave my x minus 3. I'm going to leave my 3 plus x. But then this other one, I'm going to change it to x minus 3 because I want it to match, but I'm going to throw a little negative out front. And my question is, if I do this, have I changed the problem? Because if I've changed the problem, we have a problem. I'm not allowed to change it. But if I distributed this to one set of parentheses, that's all I do, is that still a negative x? And is this still a positive 3? Okay, so you're allowed to pull out a negative 1 and switch the order because we actually haven't changed anything. I don't want you to think that this negative out here goes to this set of parentheses and that set of parentheses. It doesn't. Any negative only goes to one set of parentheses. So these are still the exact same. Now we're allowed to cross out that x minus 3. So that x minus 3 gets to go bye-bye. And I'm left with that limit still, as x approaches 3, of x plus 7 times a negative 3 plus x. Now go plug in that 3. When I plug in that 3 now, what are we going to get up top? 10 over negative 6, right? What decimal is that? Yeah. Negative 5 over 3 is negative 1.666667. That's exactly what you said, Kale. This is a good one. Guys, this goes back to what we did yesterday. What did we say the limit of sine of x over x was yesterday as x approaches 0? Does anyone remember? That was just a 1. Yep. Okay. So what can we do over here to start using these properties? Now, what did you say? You just said what word? Cosine. You know tangent is what over cosine? Sine over cosine. So you're like, okay, I do know that. So let's practice a little bit. Okay, before I back that up, I'm going to go a little, another example. What if I say 2 plus 5 over 3? What would that be? 7 over 3, I just heard, right? Is that the same as 2/3 plus 5/3? Is that still 7/3? Yeah. So those are two different things. So could I say this here? Am I allowed to break that up? I absolutely can. So we could say the limit as x approaches 0 of tan of x over x plus 5 of x over x. Okay. What's going to happen on this side? That's just going to leave us with what, Luca? Just a 5, right? X's are going to cancel out. That just leaves me with a 5. What can we do here, Ben Richardson, with what you just said about that tangent? How could I rewrite that tangent? What over what? Sine of x over cosine of x. Beautiful. He says, I'm going to rewrite tangent as sine of x over cosine of x. I just replaced that with this. Instead of dividing by x, what could I multiply this by? Instead of dividing by x, I could multiply by 1 over x. I heard it. Dividing by x is the same as multiplying by 1 over x. Great. Yesterday we talked about 2/3 times 5/3 is the same. Oh, shoot. That's not going to help us in this problem. 2/3 times 5/4 is the same as 2/4 times 5/3. Do you agree on the top we get 10 no matter which way? And on the bottom we still get 12. You're allowed to move things around on the numerator and denominator when we're multiplying. So how could I move this stuff around to refer back to this? How can I get this? Love it. He's saying write sine of x over x and move that cosine to the right. I dig that. Because now I can say, I know this. This is some property. The sine of x over x, that limit as x approaches 0, we know that this is just 1. We need to multiply that by this limit of 1 over cosine of x. I would substitute in that 0. Cosine at 0, we did this yesterday, is 1. So 1 over 1 is just another 1. We need to add that 5 at the end to it. Final answer, 6. Okay, so on this one, it says as x approaches 2, what's the limit? You guys, did they give us a superscript here? They didn't give us a superscript. So I got to be looking from both sides of 2, right? Got to be looking from both sides of 2. So do I have to plug in this 2 to both functions? Yeah, because for a limit to exist from both sides of 2, my fingers have to come together. So I got to plug in this 2 to the top one and the bottom one. What's the limit from the left if I approach 2 from the left? That'd be ln of 2, okay. And then what about from the right if I plug that 2 in to the right side of 2? 4 ln of 2. Do those equal? Is natural log of 2 the same as 4 times the natural log of 2? No. So it's saying from the right, it equals something different from the left. What's my limit going to be? It does not exist. People, here we go. Ew, without a calculator. Without a calculator. Y'all don't know what this graph looks like, and I'm not expecting you to know what this graph looks like. But they want to know what's the limit as we approach 3 from the left. Do you agree we can't factor anything here? Like, there's nothing to factor. If I threw a 3 in there, do you agree I'm going to get a 0 over a 0? That's not helpful, but I can't factor. Anyone have any idea? For approaching 3 from the left, give me a number that's pretty close to 3 from the left side of 3. 2. Could we just plug in a 2 here? If I plug in a 2, what happens if I put 2 in for x there? What is the absolute value of 2 minus 3? 1, because it'd be a negative 1, absolute value would be 1. What about 2 minus 3 on the bottom? What would that simplify to be? Okay. And you're like, well, I see that as an answer. But could we get closer to 3 than 2? Could we try a 2.9? What if I threw a 2.9 in there? 2.9 minus 3 on top over a 2.9 minus 3 on the bottom. What would we get up top? Negative 0.1 absolute value is 0.1. Thanks, hey. What about on the bottom? Negative 0.1. What's any number divided by itself? 1. So this answer? We did it. So this one truly is kind of a guess or check. Now, unless you're like, bottom one. Plugging in a 3, aren't we going to get 0 over 0? Are we going to get a little 0 over 0 there? Okay. What could we do up top? Anything? I can't factor x minus 3, so I'm just going to leave it. What could we take out of the bottom? I heard it. Let's take an x out. If I plug in a 3 now, I'm still going to get 0 over 0, guys. What can we do with this? Yeah, difference of squares. Thanks, Luke. We're going to say, all right, as x approaches 3, on top we got x minus 3. What's on the bottom? An x plus 3 and an x minus 3? Is anything going to cancel now? What's on top if I can't get rid of the entire numerator? Oh, 1. BR, you already got the answer?
Yeah.
What'd you get when you plugged in a 3 right there and right there?
1 over 18.
Okay. Okay, sir. Because 6 times 3 is 18. Boom. We are tempted to say non-existent right when we see that. But we gotta do some factoring.